Have you ever wondered, truly wondered, if your entire life has been guided by something you can't see, but you can feel? That quiet sensation in your chest, the soft pressure behind your ribs, the subtle awareness that the world you were taught to believe in is only a thin layer covering something far more real, far more ancient, far more intelligent than anyone ever told you. You try to ignore it at first. You try to convince yourself everything is normal, ordinary, explainable. But the truth keeps whispering beneath your skin. Something in your reality has been shifting, and it started long before you had the language to describe it. There is a moment in every spiritual awakening when the familiar begins to break apart. The routines that once felt safe begin to feel suffocating. The life you built begins to feel too small for the person you're becoming. Your emotions intensify. Your intuition sharpens. Your perception widens just enough to reveal cracks in the facade of what you once called reality. And that sensation inside you, the tension, the unease, the strange heaviness, it's not anxiety. It's the vibration of your consciousness trying to expand beyond the limits of your old identity. That's why your thoughts loop the same way. That's why your subconscious mind keeps replaying old stories. That's why you feel suspended between who you were and who you're becoming. And then, without warning, the coincidences begin. A video shows up at the exact moment you needed it. You think of someone, and they message you instantly. You see repeating numbers everywhere, on clocks, receipts, signs, each one carving itself deeper into your awareness. At first you brush it off as randomness. Your logical mind tries to label it, tame it, make it fit into the small box of what you were taught reality is supposed to be. But deep down, your consciousness knows. Something inside you recognizes the pattern, the rhythm, the intelligence woven beneath everything, because you've always felt it, even when you didn't have the words. This world is not physical at its core. It is vibrational. It is energetic. It is responsive. This is the moment you begin to feel the pulse of the quantum field, an invisible ocean of pure potential surrounding you, interacting with you, echoing the vibration you carry in the deepest layers of your subconscious mind. And once you feel that pulse, once your awareness starts syncing with that hidden reality, nothing looks the same again. Your emotions take on meaning. Your thoughts feel like signals instead of noise. Your intuition turns into a compass that seems to come from somewhere beyond time. Because the truth is this: consciousness is not trapped inside your skull. You are not a mind inside a body. You are a field of awareness interacting with a much larger field of infinite possibilities. The quantum field responds not to your words, but to your vibration, not to who you pretend to be, but to the frequency you actually hold. And the moment your vibration shifts, even slightly, the entire architecture of your life begins to rearrange itself around that new signal. This is why your life has repeated patterns. This is why relationships cycle through familiar shapes. This is why breakthroughs feel close, then slip away. Your subconscious has been broadcasting an old vibration into a universe that only speaks energy. But the moment you begin to awaken, truly awaken, you start tapping into consciousness on purpose. You start accessing the mechanics beneath the surface of your reality. And that's when everything begins to change. Because you are stepping into a truth that has been waiting for you your entire life. And what happens next is, if something inside you already knows this is true, do two things right now so you don't lose this path. Hit like. That tells YouTube you want more content about quantum consciousness, the quantum field, and your spiritual awakening. Subscribe and turn on the bell, because the next videos connect like chapters of one big story about your soul, your vibration, and the hidden architecture of your reality. Now, let me take you to the exact moment where your reality started to shift, even before you noticed. You don't notice it immediately, but something in you fractures the moment the quantum field responds. It's subtle, almost invisible, like a soft tremor beneath your perception. You wake up the next morning and everything looks the same, yet nothing feels the same. The air seems heavier, your thoughts echo differently, and your awareness keeps sharpening as if some unseen curtain is beginning to lift. This is the moment your consciousness starts expanding faster than your old identity can hold. The moment your vibrational frequency begins rising even before you consciously choose it. Let me tell you a story. Imagine this is you. You wake up on a random Tuesday, already exhausted before your feet touch the floor. Same job, same routines, same worries looping in the background like white noise. You scroll at night until your mind feels numb. And yet, lately, something inside you feels disturbingly alive. Emotions hit harder. Loud places drain you instantly. You begin questioning everything you once accepted without hesitation. Why does your life feel scripted? Why does your reality feel thinner, like you're living behind glass? Why does every day feel like someone else's story you're just acting out? And then one night, it breaks. You hit that quiet rock bottom, the kind no one sees. You lie there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, feeling the weight of years pressing against your chest. And from a place deep inside your subconscious mind, a whisper rises that you've never dared to speak. If there is something out there, if there's a higher self, a universe, a God, a quantum field, show me. And the field hears you, because the quantum field is not distant. It is immediate. It is alive. It is the hidden reality beneath everything you've ever touched. And when your consciousness sends out a pure, unfiltered vibration, raw, honest, desperate, the field responds with precision. The next morning, a stranger says the exact words your heart needed. A video about quantum reality appears in your feed, even though you've never searched for it. You see 1111 3 times before noon. Your logical mind dismisses it as coincidence, but something deeper inside you knows it isn't random. It's resonance. It's synchronicity. It's the beginning of your spiritual awakening. What's really happening is simple. Your vibrational frequency shifted for the first time in years. And the quantum field, made of pure information and energy, immediately began reorganizing your outer world to mirror your inner state. The life you thought was solid begins to crack, and through those cracks, a hidden reality reveals itself, one that has always been there, just outside the range of ordinary perception. If this feels like your story, if something in this awakening matches what you've lived, I want to invite you to take this seriously. Like, subscribe, and stay connected here. This is more than a channel. It's a field of consciousness we're building together. Your engagement strengthens it, your presence amplifies it, and your comments weave your energy into a community of people expanding just like you. Because what comes next goes even deeper into the moment. Everything in your reality began to shift, and we're only at the beginning. And as these cracks in your old reality widen, you begin to sense a question rising from somewhere deep within your expanding consciousness. What exactly is this force responding to me? What is this hidden intelligence shaping my synchronicities, my emotions, my awakening? Science calls it the quantum field, an invisible ocean of energy where every possibility already exists in potential form. Spirituality calls it source, God, the all. Different languages describing the same underlying structure of existence, a structure far more fluid and responsive than anything you were taught in school. Quantum physics shows that nothing exists as a solid object until it is observed. Before that, everything is a wave of probability, pure potential suspended in an energetic state waiting for consciousness to interact with it. Your awareness is that observer. Your emotional state is the vibrational frequency you broadcast into the field. So when you think a thought and feel it deeply, you're not daydreaming. You're tuning your personal energy into a precise frequency within the quantum field. And the field mirrors that frequency with exact neutrality. It doesn't punish. It doesn't reward. It reflects. That's why when you stay trapped in fear, shame, or unworthiness, your reality echoes experiences that match those frequencies. Not because you deserve pain, but because the field is functioning perfectly according to your internal signal. But the moment you begin to raise your vibration, even slightly, through gratitude, presence, courage, or self-love, the field responds instantly. People appear at the right time as if guided. Opportunities show up with uncanny synchronicity. Old patterns dissolve without the force you used to rely on. These are not random blessings. They are quantum responses to a shift in your state of being. Every new thought you choose, every emotion you process consciously, every belief you question becomes a point of transformation. You're not imagining the change. You're selecting a new version of reality within the quantum field. You're collapsing a different potential into form. And the more consciously you do this, the more fluid, aligned, and meaningful your life begins to feel. The world no longer looks static. It becomes responsive, alive, intelligent, because your perception has expanded enough to finally see it that way. If this is resonating with your own experiences, the synchronicities, the intuition, the sense that reality is softer and more energetic than it appears, make sure you're subscribed. The next part of this journey reveals the exact moment your higher self steps in and begins steering your life in a completely new direction. And once you understand that shift, everything in your awakening gains a new dimension. So how do you actually tap into the quantum field and ignite a shift so real that your entire reality begins to reorganize around you? It never begins with controlling the outside world. It starts in the one place the quantum field can actually reach you, inside your consciousness. Picture yourself again, not the version you show to the world, but the version who sits alone at night when the noise finally settles. One evening, instead of numbing the tightness in your chest with scrolling or food or distraction, you do something unfamiliar. You sit still, you close your eyes, and for the first time in a long time, you allow yourself to feel everything. You notice the vibration of anxiety under your ribs, the belief buried in your subconscious mind that you're unsupported, the heaviness of thinking you're not enough. Instead of resisting it, you breathe into it. You say quietly, "I see you. I'm not running anymore." And in that moment, something subtle shifts. The inner noise softens. There is a small opening, a widening of perception, and through it you sense a presence behind your thoughts, a still, aware space that has been watching your entire life unfold. That awareness is your higher self. That is the consciousness that already resonates with the reality you're trying to create. From that space of expanded perception, you begin choosing a new signal to send into the quantum field. You imagine a version of yourself who is aligned, grounded, supported, deeply loved, living with purpose. You feel their energy in your body. You let the sensation become real enough to change your frequency. For a few seconds, your vibration matches the reality you desire. And because the quantum field responds to vibration with absolute neutrality, it begins reorganizing the hidden architecture of your life to reflect that new inner state. Nothing dramatic needs to happen in that exact moment. But in the days and weeks that follow, the outer world starts to shift. A relationship that drained your energy dissolves with unexpected ease. A new career path appears that feels aligned with your soul. Someone enters your life who speaks the language of consciousness you've been quietly longing for. You didn't force these manifestations. You didn't push. You shifted your state of being, and your external reality had no choice but to follow. This is the true quantum shift. It's not about escaping your life or pretending everything is perfect. It's about meeting your life from a higher level of awareness, guided by your higher self, broadcast into the quantum field with clarity and intention. And the deeper you lean into this process, the more the hidden reality begins to reveal itself. Because what happens next takes you even further into the mechanics of how your consciousness shapes the timeline you're living. And that's where the real transformation begins. And as you continue moving through this awakening, you begin to sense that the transformations happening in your outer world are only the surface of something much deeper unfolding within you. Because the moment your vibration shifts and the quantum field starts mirroring that higher frequency, you're invited into a truth that very few people ever understand. Here's the part almost no one tells you. You are not creating your reality from the 5% of thoughts you consciously choose. You are shaping your life from the other 95%, the vast, hidden layers of your subconscious mind, where your beliefs, emotions, memories, and energetic patterns reside. This is the part of you that has been quietly broadcasting your vibration into the field long before you ever became aware of it. Every unprocessed emotion, every moment you felt unseen or unsafe, every wound you learned to hide instead of heal, has formed a vibrational signature inside your subconscious. And the quantum field, neutral and precise, has been reflecting that signature back into your reality. That's why for years things seem to repeat. The same relationships with different faces, the same financial ceiling no matter how hard you tried, the same emotional cycles coming back just when you thought you had moved on. It wasn't fate. It wasn't bad luck. It was subconscious programming interacting with quantum energy. The moment your spiritual awakening begins, your perception widens enough for you to finally see this invisible mechanism. You start to understand why certain manifestations never arrived, even though you visualized them endlessly. You start to see why affirmations felt empty, or why journaling never truly shifted the core of your experience. It's because your subconscious frequency was still broadcasting fear, scarcity, abandonment, or unworthiness. And the field responds to your true vibration, not the mask you layer on top. But here is where everything turns. Once you recognize that 95% of your reality is being created from your subconscious mind, you unlock the most powerful truth of all. If you learn how to reprogram that subconscious, your entire quantum reality can change. You stop blaming the universe for what isn't working. You stop thinking you're cursed or broken. Instead, you realize you've been running an old script written by a version of you who didn't know any better. And now, your consciousness has expanded enough to rewrite it. This is the moment in your awakening when everything becomes possible again. When manifestation becomes less about forcing outcomes and more about shifting the internal frequency that shapes them. When aligned action arises naturally from clarity instead of fear. When your higher self becomes not just a concept, but a guiding presence influencing your perception, your decisions, your energy. And this leads us into the next, deeper layer of your journey. The layer almost no one explores with honesty or precision. The truth that your subconscious is not just influencing your life, it is generating 95% of it. Your relationships, your patterns, your emotional reactions, your sense of identity, your ability to receive abundance or love, all of it begins in the subconscious field. Before we move to that next step, I want to invite you into a moment of conscious participation. If something in this message resonates, if something inside you feels seen or understood, share it in the comments. Write a phrase like, I awaken, I see beyond, or I am expanding. These words are not just expressions. They anchor your shift into the quantum field and strengthen the collective energy of this community. And as you reflect on your own awakening, remember, what comes next will take you even deeper into the hidden architecture of your subconscious, where the true transformation begins. If this video woke something up inside you, don't let it fade into just another piece of interesting content your mind forgets tomorrow. This is a moment of choice, and moments like this shape the direction of your consciousness. Hit like now, not just for the algorithm, but as a clear energetic signal to the quantum field that you're choosing to stay on this path of expanded awareness. Subscribe and turn on the bell, because the next videos are a sequence. Each one connects to the next. If you miss even one, you lose a piece of the map that explains your consciousness, your vibration, and the hidden layers of your reality. And now I want you to participate actively in this field we're building together. In the comments, write the phrase, I'm ready to shift my reality. Then share the biggest synchronicity or the strongest sign you've ever received from the universe. When you do this, you're not just commenting on a video, you're anchoring a new decision in your consciousness. Others will read your words, feel your courage, and together we create a collective field of transformation that grows stronger with every voice. After you comment, click the video appearing on your screen. Your subconscious is creating 95% of your reality. Here's the proof. That's your next step. If this video opened the door, the next one will show you who has been holding the key the entire time. I'll see you there.